What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Today is part 5 of the elevated Playhouse build that I'm building for my sons. Just want to talk to you about where I am in the project, because we're making a lot of headway and it's going to start really coming together. And my plan is kind of like my wife was like, she can't see it, so my plan is finally coming to fruition. Like, now we're starting to see what it's going to look like. So we are at the point now where all the joists are hung, everything is level and square. I overbuilt this thing. Professionals told me that these aren't necessary, these blocks, to maintain, sideways pressure, because once I start putting the decking on, that'll hold everything. This design is not big enough to matter, but I did it anyway. I don't want this thing to go anywhere. I'm also going to put some braces on the upright posts. But right now, because I'm standing on plywood, if you didn't watch the last part, I'm putting plywood on 8 by 8 feet of this, and then decking on the 4-foot deck that is shaped around that. That's what the design that I decided to go with, because I didn't want the house part to have holes and air and bugs be able to come up through the bottom. So I wanted that solid. So now I'm going to put on joist tape. Joist tape is to protect the joist. It's a black tape, it's adhesive, and it'll protect the joist, like say stain. Stain is to protect the decking boards, but as water goes through the decking boards, it'll sit on the joist, because joists will rot before the decking, typically, unless you take care of them. So I will be putting joist tape next on all these boards, and then I'm going to start laying the decking out. I drew a line. From this corner to this corner, and that's going to show us, this corner to this corner. I drew a line with my chalk to show me that's a perfect 45 for the project, because everything is 12 by 12 for this design. So even though the plywood is going to come and butt up against that, that will be the start of my decking, and I'll have a perfect main board to start with, and then all my other boards will go off of that. The joists are now taped. I kind of underestimated how long this would take. I'm working by myself. I wish I had help. Another person would make this job go so much easier, but they're all taped, every single one of them that's going to be in contact with another piece of wood that could possibly get moisture between the two. There's a piece of joist tape. So pretty much everywhere. And then the areas over here, the corners, reinforced by like 4 pieces. So this is all done. Now I'm going to start on the decking. Get this plywood on, get that screwed down. I'm not a professional, so when I kind of dry fitted the plywood to begin with, there's maybe 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 of an inch difference in the squareness. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with that, but I will get this plywood up on here, and then we'll have an 8 by 8 square, not only to stand on, but to start the rest of the project. We're going to use decking on the rest. Okay, I'm going to work for another half hour here, because it's taken me a while. Like I said, I'm by myself, so I got to run all the way up to the house, use the saw, come back. But this is how it's going. I got all the plywood. Down. This is 8 feet by 8 feet. So that's how big this house is going to be. It's pretty sweet. Mark the joist there with some chalk line. Then I took a 45-degree angle from that corner to that corner, dropped another chalk line on the joist, on the plywood, straight through. That's for a specific reason. That board right there, now that one's secure, that board is the main board that everything else goes off of. So that's the one that's got to be straight to the project. If I did that board over here just straight, same thing. That board has got to be the one that's perfectly straight, perfectly everything, because every other board goes off of that board. So a lot of professionals for decking say if you're using pressure treated and it's still wet, which this is kind of not you know, 100% wet. It's been out here for a couple days. But if this is still wet, for you to butt these up together, don't leave a space. I left a tiny little space anyways. As it dries out, that will increase, so it, you know, it shouldn't be bad. But we've got the angled decking board, which will run from there all the way down there, including down there, because like I said, I'll have that line right there. So far I've got 3 pieces. Oh man, this is going to be sweet. It's not perfect. I'm not, you know, a professional. Like that little gap right there. I'll be covering that gap with the wall. That wall piece. Oh man, this is nicer than I thought too. I thought there was going to be a huge gap between this plywood and this 5/4 board, and it's so minimal. But when I frame the walls, the wall's going to cover that, so it won't be visible. But oh man, I love it. This thing's coming out sweet. All right, let me get back to work. We'll see you guys on the next episode. All right, now this is the end of day 5, part 5. Like I said, it would go a lot faster if I had some help, but it's really coming along, and I want you guys to see it. This plywood 8x8, and then we got the deck going diagonally. I decided to do that, and rather than straight boards, I think it really looks good. These 2 boards over here have been screwed in. I feel no movement when I bounce on this thing. I shake it side by side. Side to side, I don't feel any movement. There's no, it's not rickety. It doesn't make any noise. I'm trying to shake it now. I still will be bracing the corners, but this thing is so solid, and I chose to do all screws, structural screws for the things that, you know, needed shear strength, and then deck screws for the things that needed tensile strength, lag bolts in all the critical areas, screw lags and other critical areas. Those themselves, you know, could replace those types of lags, but I went with both of them. And then horizontal braces, vertical joist posts. This thing is really coming along. It's gonna have a nice railing across there. I'm gonna leave some of this open. I think I'm gonna do steps on this side. I don't know if I'm going to do like sideways steps onto a platform or what, but I think I'm going to do steps on this side, maybe this side, have railing that comes over to here, then have a slide, do some more railing, comes over to here, have like either a climbing net or a rock wall over here in this area. And I think this area kind of either be like a maybe a rope. I don't know. We have to decide. We have to decide what's going to go on. But this looks great. And I'm, you know, not a professional, and I'll tell you what, it's not bad. I got a couple imperfections here. You can see that's not perfect. But you know what? Nobody's perfect. I don't care who you are. This you can see this plywood ended right before this joist. Maybe because this frame is not, you know, 90, it's probably like this, but it's still 12 by 12. It's weird. So maybe I just have one corner that's off. But you know, it came to there, and then I braced it from underneath, so it's not going anywhere. But this board area, that's 2 4x8s. I cut them in half, so it was 4x4 sections, so they'd fit in the truck. But it's 4x8 sheets of plywood, so this is 8x8. And I only had to trim just a little bit off of the ends over here to make that fit. It's really coming along. I can't wait for Maverick and Pierce to see it. Alright guys, that'll do it. This is part 5. This is Josh from the 570. Links are in the description for all my affiliates. We'll see you next time.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.